Hey everyone, you join us in the Highlands of Scotland. We've come away for the weekend and we've stayed at an amazing wild camping spot. Had an amazing time. Now on the way up here, we had an engine warning light come on our dashboard. Now this engine warning light, it basically says, go to the workshop because we have an overfill on the oil level. Now before we came to Scotland, we went to Volkswagen Oldham main dealer and we got a health check on the vehicle. Now what we do is every time we go on a big trip and things, you know, like doing like a lot of mileage and things, we always get health checks done on the van because we have seen it before where people think the vehicle's okay and, you know, they go away and they end up with issues and it ends up changing the holiday and like costing a lot of money and things. So, you know, it is something that we get done. So I had a look online, and just as you do when you go online, which you shouldn't do really, there's so many possible issues. One of the main common issues it could be is a software update. There is a faulty sensor, and some people have also said DPF was doing like a regeneration thing. What it's done is it's put some like added extra diesel in and it's shown like a faulty reading or something. Like I said, there's so many like different things that you look at online, and some of the things people were saying are just like crazy. So one of the things it said is you can actually reset this light by lifting your bonnet up, closing your bonnet, and what it does is it clears it. Now it did do that, but then 100 miles later it's come back on. So what I've done is I've been speaking to Volkswagen Oldham because they're so helpful over there, and any issues that we've got I can get straight on the phone to them, speak to them, and they've suggested obviously that what we need to do is we need to go to Volkswagen Oldham, we need to get this looked at. Like I said, it could just be a software update, and I think it's a good idea to get this video done in case any of you guys ever have this issue and tell you what it could be and give you the possibilities and things. But it goes without saying, if this warning light does come on your dashboard, the first thing to do is do check your oil level because it is telling you that the oil level is too high. We're home now and we are booked in at Volkswagen Oldham, so I'm going over there now. So obviously we're going to find out today what's causing this engine warning light to come on. Before we go there, everyone has their own struggles in life and everyone deserves to be happy. If something is preventing you from achieving your own happiness or your own personal goals, regardless if you have a mental health condition like depression or anxiety, at the end of the day you're just a human that's trying to get by in this world. Therapy can give you the tools that you need to approach these situations in a different way, and that's why today I'm happy to tell you about BetterHelp. This is a paid promotion with BetterHelp. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy accessible to all, and this is a very important mission for BetterHelp. BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist easy because it's remote and it's online. All you have to do is fill out a questionnaire online, and then within a matter of days you get matched to a therapist that suits you. Clicking the first link in the description, not only will you be supporting our channel, but you'll also get 10% off with your first month with BetterHelp. Finding a therapist can sometimes be a little bit like dating. You might not always find the perfect match. If this happens to you, you can just move on to another therapist with no extra cost. If you're struggling, consider online therapy with BetterHelp. Click the link in the description or go to www.betterhelp.com/dubventures. Thank you again to BetterHelp for supporting our channel. Now when we were in Scotland, I did reset this light because there's a certain way that you can do it. And then when I did it, it came back on not long after. We still need to get it checked out, so let's go over to Volkswagen and let's get this checked out and let's get it sorted. We're in the workshop and we're with Adam again, so you know, fantastic, he's allowed me to film him again, so thank you to Volkswagen for letting me film in here as well. So obviously we know the issue, we've already explained. What are the possibilities, before we look at it, what are the possibilities that it could be?
Could be overfull, do you mean?
Yeah,
with it being overfull, sometimes a failed DPF regen can cause it to dump some diesel into the oil level to protect the engine from hydro locking. It's just a procedure, a safety procedure what Volkswagen have in place. If the level isn't overfull and it is saying it, there is a TPI, which is technical product information, indicating that we have to do a software update on the vehicle to let it know that the oil level is correct.
Okay, now me and my basic understanding, we did get a health check done just before this happened, and I'm quite confident the oil level isn't overfull, but let's have a look.
As you can see there, it's actually not overfull. The line is just below minimum there, so it's more than likely just requires a software update.
So Adam's just checked the oil level, and the oil level is exactly where it needs to be. Now, this gives a peace of mind. Like I said, when I was in Scotland, we was very confident that it's not going to be an overfull situation with the oil, because I did have a health check before we went there, and this just backs up why having health checks and things is really good to get them done for peace of mind. An update for you. There isn't actually an update available for this vehicle because it's a newer vehicle. There isn't an update available for the software of, you know, like a software update as a guess. So the next step in this process is, now Adam will correct me if I'm wrong saying this, we've took a little bit of oil out just on the off chance because the oil can expand, and obviously we drove to Scotland and, you know, we did a long drive, and just in case it's, again, correct me if I'm wrong with the terminology, I don't know what I'm saying, it's triggered the sensor because it might have expanded obviously the hills of Scotland and everything. So what we've done is we've took a little bit of oil out, and
we took the oil out so we can rule out if the sensor is reading correctly or not. Now we know that the oil level is a little bit below max. Now if it comes back on and we check it again, we can be 100% confident that the oil level is correct. So then we can see if there's a software related issue or if there's going to be a future TPI relevant for this vehicle like these on the other crafters.
Okay, now how much oil have you took out, just roughly?
Around 300 to 400 ml.
Right.
Took out a little bit extra.
Yeah, and we just topped it up so that, you know, it's not a case of take some out and kind of hope that does it. You've measured it specifically, so on the system of Volkswagen, it's got the exact amount in, so that like it's known on the system. It is worth mentioning as well, if I'd have gone to, let's just say, a backstreet garage. Now there is some reputable backstreet garages, but that's just how I word it and stuff. Some garages, what they might have done is they might have just like took some oil out and just left it and hope for the best.
They wouldn't have had the technology to research to see if there is a software update relevant. Now these TPI pages online, so reputable garages can distinguish if there is a software update available, but they won't be able to undertake that software update. They need the diagnostic machines that we have in branch here, especially with our brand Volkswagen. We'll be the only ones available to have them software updates.
Now you might be thinking, like, I do get my vehicle like maintained regularly, you know, I get health checks done and things. This would have still come on whether I serviced or not serviced the vehicle, wouldn't it? So, you know, it's got nothing to do with like the fact that I get the vehicle sort of like looked after, if you like, when I do come to Volkswagen Oldham. Now, the thing is, because we reduced the oil a little bit, I'm coming back here soon because before we do the European road trip, we are getting the health check done. So the good thing is, if it comes back on the light, obviously we can get it sorted when I come back. If it doesn't, at least we can still do a check and check that everything's okay and go from there. It's worth mentioning, I've just been speaking to the experts in here, and do you know what, Volkswagen Oldham, all the staff, all the team, fantastic, really helpful and everything. I've learnt a lot of things while I was here, and like I said, because there's no software update, you know, there's a possibility, you know, it could be like the sensor, or it could just be that the oil had expanded, it triggered the oil warning level. Like I said, what we've done is we've took a little bit of oil out, and now we're going to see if it comes back on. Now we're going to keep an eye on it and see if it does come back on. Now we're coming back here in about a month or so because we're going to Europe and we're having a health check done for the European road trip. One of the things we're going to have done when we come here, we're having an oil change as well, because what that will do then as well, we know that exactly the right amount of oil is in for the recommended for the van. So, and then once we've done that, when we go to Europe, if that light does come back on, then we'll come back when we get home, because it's very likely then that it's a software update or a sensor that needs doing. But until it does that, we can't do nothing about it. We can't just go in and start changing everything and hoping that this fixes it. It's each process at a time, and that's why Adam said that, you know, the next like correct procedure to do is just take a little bit of oil out, and then that way, because it could have been a DPF regeneration that's put like diesel in there as well, we don't know that, so we've got to follow each step as we do this. So what I would suggest is, if you do have like one of these like engine warning lights come up, I do recommend you do go to Volkswagen, because like I said, we've already had it confirmed. Other garages will not have the technology to be able to like do what we've done and, you know, get the correct procedure of what it is that we need to do next. It's worth mentioning, if you're looking for a Volkswagen service plan, I'm going to put a link in the description, because you can get an all-in service plan where you get 2 MOTs, 2 services, 2 years roadside assistance and 2 years warranty as well. There's a huge saving that can be made by signing up to one of these service plans. One thing is for certain, ignoring the fact that this light keeps coming on and just like resetting each time, yeah, you can't do that either. It's something that needs to get sorted, and we will get it sorted, and we will keep you updated. So from Volkswagen Oldham, until the next one, thanks for watching, bye for now.